Yo, what's up YouTube? My name is Shishi Zed. I am back in here, man, with another video for you. You know how it goes. No more wasting time. Let's get it. Today, I'll be reacting to a YouTuber by the name of Most of Marie. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And the video is titled The Toxicity of the RP Community. Now, this video actually came as a recommendation. I've never seen this person's content before. This would be my first time. The video is kind of long, so rather than me watching the whole thing and then reacting to it, I'm just gonna pull out sections that were key moments that stood out to me. So the video starts out with her explaining the RP community, what it is, and the various different pills, etc.
So it's the manosphere separated into their own sectors, and then their own sectors are separated into even smaller sections.
But what I'm really mad about is how I did not make this Hall of Fame thumbnail. Check it out. I should be right there. So you can obviously tell that she's aware of some of the heavy hitters within the RP community. Right off the bat, the one thing I will give her credit for is that she did acknowledge that the RP community is necessary.
Red pill is necessary, and I understand why red pill is necessary, because if you really think about it and you break it down, men do not really have any type of outlets. Men do not really have their own spaces.
All right, so let's get to the disagreements. Right off the bat, this statement was made.
They don't make them how they used to. This phrase pisses me off. Men talking about the modern day woman or versus the traditional woman. We gon' girl. When I hear the man talking about it and say they don't make them how they used to, they're really talking about the traditional woman, the woman who stays at home, cooks, cleans, deals with the children, and deals with the husband when he gets back to the house. When the gag is, and this is just obvious and very clear, very simple, it's not fair for a woman to be traditional and you to not be traditional, and vice versa.
No, that's not what we mean when we say they don't make them like they used to. It's less to do with traditional gender roles and more to do with common sense. For example, many women, modern day women, will demand a partnership dynamic within their relationship so that they can maintain their independence. And when I ask a woman who wants that if she can name any other part of life where two or more people gather together to accomplish a goal, right? And there's no leader, she can't name any. Why? Because it does not exist. You see, what men want are women to understand simple power dynamics such as the one I just explained, right? And in most cases, if you can understand that, then you would probably come to the conclusion as a woman that the man should lead, especially if he's proved himself to be a good leader, right? And he has good leadership skills and male masculine role models in his life. And he'll be more qualified because as a man, you're less emotional. And in order to be a good leader, your decisions have to be based on logic and not emotion. But here's the sad reality. Most women do not understand those simple power dynamics that help things run smoothly. They understand it when they're at work, right? And there's a boss and there's a supervisor. But when it comes to relationship, they want a partnership. And right there is just one major example of why men in this community say things like, they don't make them like they used to, right? With common sense. She also said this.
Men want traditional women but don't want to be traditional themselves, and women want traditional men but don't want to be traditional themselves.
Some interesting things were stated in that part of the video, and to be honest, it sounded a little bit confusing. If we look at a man's traditional role, it's always been to protect and provide. And if we look at a woman's traditional role, it's been to raise children, right? Nurture the family. And in that includes the cleaning, the cooking, and serving your husband, right? Those nurturing attributes that men love and modern women despise. Now, knowing that, you realize that the only significant factor that's changed aren't men, but women. And this is what's crazy. Modern women today still expect men to fulfill their traditional roles. For example, today, a man is still expected to protect you if there's some physical harm or danger, right? You still want that man to fight for you. Not only that, but women still prefer for the man to be the breadwinner of the home. The man is still expected to pay the bills, and in the case of any danger, put his life on the line and if possible, die for you. While women today are not expected to keep up even the basic traditional roles of cooking and cleaning, forget acting feminine, right? forget not being overweight. Even the basics are a problem. You'll be lucky if you can eat. And let's keep it real. Most women today would take the assumption that they're gonna be cooking and cleaning for you as an insult, right? But you're expected to die. You're a sucker, bro. The truth is this: 64% of black men are in the middle class and are well capable of being breadwinners. But they're also not simps. And they want something in return for the amount of work it takes raising a family, dealing with a modern woman, or just even a feminine woman, right? It's still work. And the deal that a lot of women bring to the table when they look at it doesn't look attractive at all. On this next clip, she addresses masculine and feminine energy.
Masculine women, basically women who exude and push off nothing but masculine energy compared to feminine energy, and they don't push off enough feminine energy. Now, I will say this: I have come across some masculine women, and something that you also have to take into consideration as to why the woman is in that state, or why she constantly has to stay in that state. There are some women who have grown up saying their mothers have to push and do their own, to be the mother and the father within the relationship.
So this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing you have to take into consideration that such and such, or you have to understand where these women are coming from. Here's why that won't work for men here. We understand that women will not take any man seriously who is broke, lacks game, charisma, right? Or any type of sexual attraction. You see, for men, it's simple. But when the tables are turned, you guys want all this understanding, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that if men somehow find you unpleasant because you failed to work on your energy, and when I say energy, I'm talking about your pleasant feminine energy, then it is your responsibility. Could it have been your mom's fault that she got pregnant by a dusty baby daddy who didn't want to stay there for his kids? I understand it happens, right? But it's still your responsibility, and no one owes you anything, and those same rules will be applied to you as well. If you're the problem, you're the problem, and you need to go get help. And men don't need to understand nothing. The same way, when the dusty broke dude comes and approaches you at the club, you give him the nasty look and the attitude, right? You show him what is worth. Men are doing the same thing. You see, men get judged consistently and mercilessly about the way they perform financially and sexually. And women get judged by how happy they can keep a man after the sex is no longer exciting. And if your character needs work, then go work on it. So she also talked about mothers playing a fatherly role. Women cannot be fathers, period. That masculine energy, even if you're able to tap into it as a woman, cannot replace a fatherly role. What you were was an overly masculine mother, which is why your sons grow up confused. She also said,
but I feel like what's important is when you're talking about the masculine woman, most definitely have that same energy whenever you're talking about the feminine man. And I'm not talking about the physical appearance, I'm talking about emotions and character. And actually be fair on both sides of it, whether you're a man or whether you're a woman.
Feminine black men in particular are the product of single mother households where there was a lack of male masculine role models. And instead of skipping to where the men at, let's double back a little bit to why were you pregnant before having a husband? Right? It's so easy, and we do this all the time. We jump to the man to blame him. Why? Because he's always the source of every problem. We're used to this in society, putting the blame on men. But for once, men are speaking out within this community. And of course, the famous line, accountability is like kryptonite to women, is true. The thing I find so crazy about this particular topic are the amount of women, and since I want to talk about my community, black women, who are okay with single motherhood, right? I've literally talked to women who've said, I don't need a man and I don't see why a man is needed. And when you ask them, well, how are you going to raise up a man to be a man? They think they can do it. Right? And they don't see the need for a man. They think they are men. Why would a man, a heterosexual male, be attracted to that type of masculine energy? And then people like myself and other content creators get called bad or crazy, right? For suggesting that, hey, maybe you should do everything possible to not get pregnant before you find a husband. Why? Because you're helping feed this cycle. She also says this about the focus of women within the RP community.
If you look at their channels and pay close attention, you'll see that the videos that are the most popular and the videos that have the most views are the ones that are talking about relationships and the ones that are talking about women. You can look at the roommates, you can look at Fresh and Fit. Heck, you can look at Kevin Samuels. That's why Kevin Samuels stopped making videos on like fashion. That's why Kevin Samuels stopped making videos on like cologne, because he knew that that wasn't getting attention. It's too much focus on women for y'all to be constantly saying that the movement is about improving yourselves.
Now, what this clearly shows me is this. Modern women have clearly lost their way and purpose in this world. Yes, men pay very, very, very close attention to women. Why? Because the woman is supposed to be the main nurturer and primary caretaker of our seed and DNA. These have been the laws of nature, right? Set up for ages. That's why the Bible even says, "He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing." In ancient times, men would go across sea and land to find a well-suitable woman. That statement she made just let me know that she has no idea how men think. I mean, men love women, right? First of all, the woman technically is the most beautiful creature that God created from a physical aspect. And on top of that, you're expected to have the wisdom and the tools to usher in the next generation, to get that DNA and pass it on and have those virtuous characteristics, right? Those things that men look for. But if you don't have those tools and you just have the body, then that's all men are going to want. So of course, a movement that's centered on men being the best versions of themselves will also have a strong emphasis on the type of woman they can find who will build them up and not tear them down and not be their downfall. And lastly, I'll end it with this statement.
These dudes really do not care for real. They do not care about y'all for real. They do not care about y'all getting into a relationship. They do not care about y'all's mental health. They don't care about y'all's fitness, finances, whatever it is. They just want your money. People idolizing these teachers and these online coaches and forming parasocial relationships, and they don't even realize it.
You know, it's kind of sad to see another woman that chooses to see the RP community in a bad light. I'm not going to say that everybody in this community has good intentions, right? There are extremes in every situation. We're not all good. There are people that you should probably not listen to within the RP community who don't want to encourage you to be a better person. It sounds like this lady thinks the RP is mostly toxic. Again, are there some crazy people within this community? Yes, just like any other community, right? But I personally know for a fact that I'm a better person because of the RP. And I try to make sure that I help people in the same way or even better than I was helped, right? When I needed a place to turn and embrace my masculine energy because it gave me strength. Sure, people won't be perfect. I understand. But there are really beautiful, great things going on right now within this community that are making men more confident, giving them the belief in themselves to know that anything is possible, and helping them get through some really tough times. So I know I said that one was the last one, but this one is really the last one, right? She also addressed content creators like Fresh and Fit. Take a look.
And speaking of younger girls, some of the interviews need to do better. They purposely bring ladies between like the ages of 18 to 35. Say for example with Fresh and Fit, that's the oldest that I've personally seen on this one. If y'all can correct me, let me know. Fresh and Fit purposely bring on younger girls just to make the younger girls look stupid. They truly purposely bring these girls on just to make women look bad and to embarrass the girls. And they just willingly go forth with it. I want to see older women, 40-year-old women. I want to see 45-year-old women, 50, 60-year-old women up on there actually going through the interview and having a conversation.
This one is interesting because I too bring women on my channel and talk about relationships and ask questions. And I'll be honest, I've seen videos where I've wondered like, okay, this girl, she's obviously giving terrible answers and it's obviously going to lend to more views because that's just the way it works, right? People feed into that type of energy, especially if it's negative. But on top of that, people really be saying some crazy stuff, right? Within these interviews, and no one's making them say these things. But I've gone out of my way a lot of the times to make sure that I present my things in a way that I'm not trying to set anybody up to look stupid. I've even been called a simp for that. But I think she's given us too much credit. I'll be honest, so maybe I'll speak for myself. I am not that talented. I do not have the talent to sit there and purposely construct questions or get into conversations and put them in a way that ultimately I'm trying to make this person look stupid. That is not my goal. And I hope that comes out like in my videos. I hope that you guys can tell that I'm actually being sincere. What happens is I just decide to have conversations. And I think that's what most other guys do who do this. And she also said, where's the variety? I want to see some older women. I mean, are you serious? We have Fresh and Fit with OnlyFans models and freaking porn stars. And then we have Kevin Samuels with PhDs and 60-year-old grandmas who are currently dying alone and arguing with them. What other type of diversity are you looking for? It can't get any more diverse than that, right? Not to mention my channel, but I only have like 10,000 subscribers, which I'm completely grateful for, but I'm using the guys that she came at as an example. So at the end of that video, she says, why is the RP even needed, right? Why does somebody need to go through an RP experience? Well, because you're told that the way to a woman is to be a nice guy, and that's not true. Reality, which is the RP, teaches you that the way to a heart is to be a man that she can look up to. A man who she desires to chase, not the other way around. A man who she respects. A man who she puts on the pedestal. You're told that women are these beautiful angels that don't do bad things. Reality, which is the RP, teaches you that women are just like you. They're horny when they see a guy who they want. They have a dark side. They have fantasies. They are probably nastier than you are. I'm not just talking about personality, right? And they usually try to hide that side of themselves from the nice guy. Men are taught that respect is given. Reality, which is the RP, teaches that respect is earned. Men are taught that you're great and the world owes you success. Reality, which is the RP, teaches you that you're not great until you become great through hard work, discipline, and effort. Hey guys, my name is TOXICITY. Listen, if you enjoyed this video and you want to do amazing things for me, hit that like button, show your boy some love. I appreciate every last one of you. Listen, I do care about all my subscribers. I want to see men succeed. Let's keep focused. Let's keep positive. Shut out the negativity and focus. Be the best version of yourself, man. Focus on yourself this summer. Shut out the noise. Shut out all the negativity. Whatever you're going through, you're going to get through it. Why? Because that's what men do. You've got God on your side. You've got people that care about you. Let's get it. We'll talk soon. By the way, I just released my first video on Patreon talking about how I lost 35 pounds in 7 weeks. If you're interested, hit the link in my bio. I'm not just going to talk about like weightlifting and nutrition and stuff on my Patreon. It's just going to be more personal content, motivational stuff, sharing different experiences, you know, going out, night scene over here in Hollywood, California. Listen, we'll talk soon. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.